to my grandmother's house to eat, my mom would say, "How old is this? How long is the weather?"
Okay. Well, sure know how to push your buttons. All right, here we go, and we're live. We are live now. Live from Los Angeles, California. It's the Emmett Ferguson Show. That's right. We're filming it from a live studio in front of a live studio audience in Burbank, California, aka the real Hollywood. And this is 7:25 p.m., the nightly show, filmed straight live out of Burbank, California. So here we go. So here we go. Let's get started. So I need to actually upload my stream here, do some little updates. What's a nice little thing I could share right now? There we go. Gonna pin that. And I need to share the stream to a couple of different places. So let me share, like, share, copy link, close, da-da-da-da-da-da. So here we go. All right, here we go. Did a quick share right now, and here's what we're gonna do. I'll close this up, and oh, sorry, kitty, come here. Okay, get out of there. You can't go there. Look at my cat. Look at my cat. Isn't she amazing? Look at her eyelashes. Her eyelashes are so cute. This little kitty. Pookie, look at everybody. Look at her eyelashes. Look at her eyelashes. Yes. She's got these big, like, white eyebrows. Like she's a I gotta move. So Scout and Pookie are up on the table because of chicken. Can you put it back in the fridge? The chicken and the chicken soup. Huh? Yeah, but they're smelling it. All right, never mind. Anyway, we're going to be doing this live stream. So I came to this interesting thought the other day that I want to share with y'all. And it's this idea that, you know, what's the thing that prevents people from becoming who they want to become. You know, let's say they want to become an artist, a YouTuber, a CEO, an executive, all these, whatever, right? I'm making things up. Like, you can be whatever you want to be. And I came to this conclusion that it's like, the only thing stopping most people is the lack of opportunities to pretend to be those things. So let's say, you know, you want to, you know, and it does in a way, you know, point to the idea of faking it till you make it, which science has proven that faking it till you make it is actually a real thing. It's a possible thing that you can actually do. But if you think about it, you know, kids that grow up and become like executives or artists or whatever, you know, of course it helps to be a Nepo baby and being born into a family that, you know, from the moment that you're 5 years old, you're working in the family business and all of that. But that aside, you know, I'm not trying to criticize the idea of being a Nepo baby or anything. But what I'm trying to say is that from the moment that they're born, they basically have this opportunity to play pretend. Or you know, act in the real life situation. They are acting, you know, being a part of the family business, whatever. And you know, I think as an adult, as an actor myself, I think that one of the things that really prevents people, because like actors, if you ever watch like a great actor work, they can become pretty much anything. They can put themselves, and you can believe they are who they are. That's what they get paid for. And at the end of the day, you know, if you really want to get into the science of being an actor, they say, "Oh, well, you're not playing pretend. You're being yourself in that, you know, that situation." Brad Pitt is basically just being himself as whoever. Joaquin Phoenix is just being himself as if he was the Joker. And, you know, there's different actor philosophies, but, you know, for the rest of the world, the truth of that is it's a level of pretend. And, you know, I've definitely met people in my life who were like, you know, you've probably heard this before. And, you know, don't take anything I say as fact, observe it for yourself, but I'm sure everyone that's watching right now, the few of you, has probably heard the idea that, you know, no one really knows what they're doing, right? You could probably interview somebody who started a really successful business and they would say something like, "Oh, you know, I didn't really know what I was doing at the start. I was just going at it, you know, I was just figuring things out along the way." So, you know, I think you can find that truth in many, many, many situations. And I'm just trying to build my case here that the truth is, I think the one limitation for many people is the fact that they don't have enough opportunities to play pretend, to really, you know, become who they want to become. And the more you can do that, the more likely you're able to get into that. So where does that really come into play? I don't know. I think it's more practical. You know, the idea is that if you could play more pretend as a kid, that's better. But if you're an adult and there's something that you want to go after, something you want to achieve, something that you want to get better at, something that you want to have in your life, I think one of those things is simply taking opportunities to play pretend. So I say this on my live streams with some of my other viewers, that this live stream, if you want to, you know, come in here and, like, people in this live stream can pretend to be whoever they want, and I will entertain that. If you want to pretend like you are the a art connoisseur who buys millions of dollars of art a year, you can pretend to be that. If you want to pretend to be, you know, and some of you don't need to pretend, but you know, I love the idea of playing pretend, and I'm trying to say that in the most, like, playful way, not to be taken overly seriously, but pretend to be somebody during this live stream. That's what I say, and, you know, I think it helps. I like this idea of using the idea of pretend. And here's the thing: where else can people go to play pretend as an adult? Really, you know, I think as an adult you see everything as a real situation, right? You don't pretend to be a parent, but you can pretend to be the best parent possible if for whatever reason you have personal doubts about your parenting skills. But again, this is not a criticism of anybody. I'm just using parenting as an example here, right? If for whatever reason you feel something about your skills, then pretend to be a wonderful parent. I don't know. Or, you know, let's be more practical here, more relatable in this situation. You know, if you've ever wanted to paint or if you ever wanted to sculpt, then pretend to be a better sculptor or artist or whatever. You can pretend to be a massive social media influencer on this live stream, and I will entertain you with that idea. So that's the whole point that I'm trying to get to for this live stream. Now, I may have to repeat myself, or I hope that some of my regular viewers already know this, that they're allowed to plug their channels and make stuff up. You know, make stuff up. On my live stream, I accept when people lie to me, unless, of course, if we're planning to do business together, that's different, right? Like, if we're planning to do business together, that's different. But if you want to come in here and pretend like you are the founder of a hotel and whatever, then that's cool too. But the whole is play pretend. You know, I think that this is also a element of like manifestation, right? There's not enough opportunities for people to just lay out what it is that they want to manifest to the whole world, right? Because it can be hard. It can be hard to tell the world something that you might not fully believe in yet, right? But, you know, this goes back to when one of my first acting teachers, he asked me, he's like, do you even want to be an actor? And I kind of hesitated for a split second. He's like, dude, it's okay. You're in an acting class. You're allowed to say that you want to be an actor. And, you know, it was in that moment that I was like, you know, there's probably people that are afraid to say that they want to become actors. They want to become artists. They want to become content creators. They want to become managers of business. They want to become millionaires. They want to become, you know, they want to become geniuses. I don't know. But whatever it is, this idea of playing pretend. And, you know, I'm saying this now, but if you don't necessarily want to play pretend, that's cool too. But I do want to share the message. I believe it is a positive message. There's a great book that I've been reading. It's called Become Your Future Self Now. And it's basically, it revolves around this principle that if you were to imagine yourself in the future, and I highly recommend reading it because it's a lot to summarize, but if you were to step into the future and you were to imagine yourself the best possible version of yourself, having everything you want, doing everything you want, being everything you want, have, be, do, yes. If you want to have, be, and do everything, if you have, and you're being, and you're doing everything that you want in the future, what would you have yourself now do? Right? If you knew that without a doubt that you would have everything that you could possibly want to be, do, or have in the future, what would you be doing right at this very moment? You wouldn't, if you knew that you had a 100% chance of success, there would be nothing that could possibly stop you. There would be nothing to stop you. If I told you right now that you need to take this one step and pretend like it's yourself. Don't act like, you know, I'm saying this. Pretend like it's yourself saying this. If there was yourself saying this 20, 30 years from now, saying, hey, young man or woman or other, you know, I know it's hard for you to get up the motivation to, you know, go make that call or sign up for that class right now. But I know, because I'm your future self, that if you do it, you will reach that point that you're looking to reach. So go do it right now. You know, you'd be watching me to your road. I'd be watching you to your road to success. Something like that, right? So anyway, you get the idea. So let's do some painting. Finally, someone contributed to the conversation here. But let's do some painting here. I want to sketch out. I guess that's all I needed to shut my mouth was to have. You want money, but you're too lazy. Well, here's the thing, right? Imagine your future self, and imagine your future self saying, like, if you had the money. If you had 100% chance of getting that money, you would go do it, right? Like, it's not even like a gambling thing. It's like, you know, if you could imagine yourself in the future telling you, hey, you need to take these exact steps. Again, this isn't me saying it. It's your future self. The future you that has everything that you worked for, that has everything that you can want, be, or do. This future version of you would do it for yourself, right? And if you didn't do it for yourself, you would do it for everybody who's involved in your life in the future. That's the idea. But of course, you know, anything that's ever said or discussed is always easier said than done. You know, it's probably difficult to get up right now and walk outside and, you know, go apply for jobs, right? I get it. There's some reasons, but you know, your future self is probably pretty reasonable, and they know exactly what you need to do to get there. Like if you just imagine your future self as knowing exactly what you need to get to where you want to go, I think it's quite powerful. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to start out with a sketch. I'm going to keep this a fairly loose sketch. I might use a little ruler here. But let's see, we're going to go, what I remember is a bed up against the wall. So let's separate this little section into thirds. And we're going to start laying this section out here. So I want to set up a bed against the wall here. There was a homeless person lying on a bed here. And that was the idea. We're going to go, so it took up about half the surface here. And let's go around and up. We're just going to get a nice bed surface here. So hard work is too hard. That's true. Yes. Love it. Love the well, you know what? If you like, that's the thing is you know, if you don't want to imagine your future self, that's cool too, right? Like again, the way I'm presenting this idea right now is, you know, easy to joke about because it's me talking as opposed to you actually sitting down and imagining your future self talking to you. Like there's power to this exercise. If you were to really sit down and just be like, imagining yourself 10 years from now, whatever you look like, you know, and you're literally having an imaginary conversation, you know, and it might sound crazy, it might sound outrageous to have a conversation with the imaginary version of yourself 10 years from now. It'll sound crazy, I know, because I've tried it and it is pretty crazy. But, you know, you would take yourself seriously, right? But because I'm saying this, and I'm just saying these things, there is a level of, you know, you're disconnected, right? You don't care what I say, but you do care what you say. You definitely care about what you think, what you believe. So honestly, you're saying these things, but if you actually sat down and you're like,
Alexa,
you know, if you literally just sit there and picture, if you sit there and picture whoever you are in the future, 20 years from now, and you picture yourself with everything that you want, everything that you're wanting right now, that you want to be or do, if you're picturing all those things and you're picturing yourself, you don't need, you know, you probably wouldn't say hard work is hard because it would be easy to you, right? It would be easy. Hard work wouldn't be hard. I guarantee it. You're just imagining that I'm saying it without doing the exercise. But I highly recommend the book. Don't take my word for it. You know, never take my word for anything. Check out the book. Be Your Future Self Now. It's a recommended read. Highly recommend it. So, hard work is hard. Yes, very good. All right, so here we go. Let's add. We're gonna add a mattress here, and we're gonna add this yellow ochre mattress. Get some of this orange in there, yellow, white. And let's just paint this down right here. Like nothing is really too hard if if you do it for yourself. It's one of those things. Again, I know this sounds crazy. I know this sounds like, what, you want me to just picture myself in the future? Like, that's crazy. You want me to hallucinate? You want me to imagine? You want me to play pretend right now? And I'm saying, you know, read the book. Read the book. Try it for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you know what you want to do, what you got to do. Learning curves, we all have them. What I view as easy, others may view it as being hard. Right, exactly. What a great way to summarize that idea. Michael. Amazing, right? Michael's always got the wisdom. The wisdoms of Michael. Whiz kid Michael. Michael the Whiz. Mike the Whiz is here today to share some wisdom with us right now. So the paint on this is on the surface is still wet, but I'm going for, let's go for shaping out our figure here. How do I shape out our figure? Never forget this homeless gentleman. Let's go. Let's give him some form and shape here. Let's see, how do we get this? I want to see some spillover. So this is from a continuation from my previous painting. It's called Homeless Man Pooping on the World. So yes, this is called The Homeless Man Pooping on the World.
Seriously?
Yeah. That's the name of this painting. Don't wear it out. Huh?
What's his name?
I don't know. He doesn't really have a name. Just no name. Homeless man pooping on the world. Let's try another one right here. Let's go sketch them out right now. Sketching them all on out. Let's go like this. Trying to get my figure, trying to figure out how he would be crouched. So I'm painting my neighborhood. Yes, something like that. Something around my neighborhood. Fortunately, I live in a part of town that is less, that doesn't really allow this. I'm trying to figure out the shape of this guy here. I think I need some black and white. Trying to find some shapes here. How do I feel about this shape here? I live in Beverly Hills. You saw me at Starbucks the other day. This homeless person? Is that who you're talking about? The homeless man. All right, let's clean off this brush. I feel like the surface is still still a little bit sticky from our painting earlier that I'm not going to be able to accomplish too much. But let's at least get some of our space filled in here. Let's grab a little bit of pink. I'm going to go for some pinks here. Let's grab some red and pink. The rose. Painted a homeless camp with people standing around a 55-gallon drum as winter, and they were using it as a fireplace. Well, that's awesome of you, Michael. And how did that painting go? Did you like it? Was it profound? What was your experience painting that wonderful, wonderful masterpiece? What a wonderful, wonderful idea. See Norman Rock. How long does it take me to finish a painting on average? On average, I think on average it takes me like 5 hours. I think on average it takes me about 5 hours. Yeah, I think that's about a good time. 5 hours. But, you know, a few paintings usually... No, you know what? Let's say about 8 hours. Let's say about 8 hours, because the few paintings that do take me longer than 4 or 5 end up, you know, taking me much longer than 4 or 5 hours.
Alexa, set timer for 10 minutes.
And I'm talking like total hours.
10 minutes. Starting now.
You know, some of my live streams, they like... You know, they don't necessarily go, you know, that it like multiple weeks of painting, but I actually count by hour, not by like, oh, I spent months on this painting, but really they only spent like an hour a day, 5 days a week for like 2 months. So that's still quite a lot. 5, 10, that's like 40 hours on a painting. But, you know, someone that says they spent months painting something, but they only paint for like an hour a week. I mean, you know, I don't really count you know, I would count that as, would just count that as differently, you know. Let's go like this. Let's paint this in. This one's gonna be from imagination. You know, most of my paintings pretty much. Most of my paintings are pretty much done from a reference, but I'm not using a reference. I'm just, whatever's in my head right now is what I'm using to paint this painting. Honestly, I probably shouldn't use this brush because this brush is for like good fine detail, and you know, I don't want to be too rough with this brush right now. So I need to find a brush that I could be kind of rough with. See Norman Rockwell? All right, cool. Well, thank you. Thank you. See some Norman Rockwell in here. Very cool. But yeah, a lot of my paintings I usually do with the reference, but not right now. Right now I'm doing it just off the cuff. I mean, I did have to plan out what I was going to paint. And here we go. So everything has to appear dirty, does it? I don't think so. I don't think everything has to appear dirty. Who says that? Who's making up rules? Michael, stop making up rules. Stop making up self-limiting rules. You're limiting yourself by thinking everything has to be anyway. Quit it. Quit it right now. Right now. Everything has to appear dirty. Psh. Who said that? Who made that rule up? There's no rules. You make up your own rules, Michael. Don't let anyone ever tell you any different. You make up your own rules. You make up your own rules, young man. Well, this isn't an encampment, so there you go. You're interpreting things from your own view. This is not an encampment. This is just a street out in Los Angeles. Good old Los Angeles street. I have to make a bench or something, but Cat, what's wrong with you?
Back. Severely painful. And the only way I'm not being painful is by standing straight up, which I can't reach the shelves. And I'm bending with my legs. It still does.
Some map of Los Angeles is all brown. Yes, sounds like Los Angeles at certain times of the year can definitely be brown, but the majority of Los Angeles, after a good rain, Los Angeles can actually look pretty nice. You know what never mind. I was gonna say something, but I can't say it because it lacks empathy.
About me?
Well, no, not about you, but just in general.
That you owe food?
Huh?
That you like to kill food?
No, what I was about to say, like, lacks empathy.
Like that?
Sort of, yeah. Like, what I was going to say, alright, so here's what I was about to say. And I know this isn't true, but I just want to share this thought. You know, for the sake of thought and discussion. And I know, like, obviously you're in a situation right now, you're working on the fridge, and, like, and, you know, I'm not saying that this is what you're doing, but, you know, just as I started live streaming, you started grunting and moaning. And, you know, obviously it's because you're working. I know, exactly. It's because that's when you start. But here, bear with me as I express the situation, this idea that... Huh?
The drama queen.
Right, well, some people start drama. Some people want to make drama that's like that, and then other people might make drama that's like super super different, the opposite. There would be drama in a
Sound of a woman giving birth?
no. Yo, I mean, not in real life.
Well, they grunt and moan because
It's so painful.
So it's not just that it's painful, which it is, but the grunting and the moaning has a purpose. The breathing that you do when you grunt and moan helps relieve the pain.
Yeah, I know that grunting and moaning helps relieve pain.
Yes.
I'm totally trying to just point out something in a thought here. Huh?
So that's kind of why I do it. It's like saying a good, like, oh, F. Release the pain from it.
Yo, what's up, Omi?
But you're
Omi.
obviously making a point that I haven't quite got.
No, I'm just making a point in general of this idea that, you know, it would be cool if you're like, oh, making a deal like, I'm cooking meatloaf tonight, you know, like something cool.
I am.
Huh?
I am making meatloaf.
Yeah, like. And again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to say you're doing this. But it's going to sound like it. It's like grunting for attention versus like, I don't know, doing something awesome for attention. Like, hey everybody, I'm going to be the star of a TV show next month.
I am.
Yes, she is. She's going to be the star of a TV show next month.
Plus,
But again, you know, totally just having a conversation here, discussing these ideas, not...
even when I'm alone, I'll grunt.
I'm really just using you as like an example.
Even when I'm alone, there's nobody here to hear me.
I know.
I will grunt.
But I feel like you did it as soon as I started streaming, and I just wanted to share that as like an example.
I would have done it.
And yes, if I was in pain, I would be grunting too. So, but just for the sake of discussion. Huh?
Now that we cleared that up.
Yeah. Huh?
It's awesome. With clarity. Yes. Clarity.
For discussion, not clarity.
It's not clarity?
Is it clarity, discussion? What's going on with Beyond TV? Alexa off. What's up, Omi? Omi the Bromi. Bromizu is here.
Okay, so this chicken is still good.
That's soup, yes. It's good broth. I would put it on the plate. Oh no, that chicken's good. This broth is good. Can you put it on the stove right now so we can have some? It's just chicken broth.
Yes, I know it is.
Maybe pour in some chicken broth that I have on the floor over there and just put it on boil so it has extra chicken flavor. Can you do that?
Can I just put the pot on? There's plenty,
Huh?
there's plenty in the pot.
All right, fine.
I don't have a burner.
Sleeping. Now that I'm sleeping on the couch tonight, they said you make poo grunts.
I do?
Yeah.
Like I'm pooing?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just kidding. That's not what they said.
let me say what I don't care. If you want to go over and help me,
Michael says I'm sleeping on a couch tonight. See, unlike Kat and I can actually have these kinds of conversations. That's the only reason why we're able to keep a relationship is I can, you know, share my thoughts on these things
Here, put this in.
without
Beef.
having to sleep on a
Do you
couch.
want the beef in it?
No, the chicken stock. There's chicken stock in there.
Crunch. What is chicken?
Like, if I couldn't share my thoughts and my opinions and my views on things with Kat, we totally would not be we would not be living together.
Oh! I can't open this. Here. You must open it.
Oh, you broke it.
Well, I was pulling on it and it wouldn't come off.
You broke it.
I did. Not intentionally. You know what the torque is.
Oh my gosh.
It's your teeth.
You didn't use my teeth.
That's what people do.
Cat.
What? Liars? Isn't that tab designed to pull?
Yeah, but how did you pull it?
Hold it up with my finger. It's the logical thing to do. There's no way to do it.
That was the way you did it.
Much worse.
I don't know how the answer. I don't know how you do it.
Like this. How did you do it?
Alright. Where's the cover? A little cat face.
It's hard to know where to put stuff. It's under the kitty litter. I'm sure it's not. Because is this any good?
No. No good. No bueno. Doesn't sound like she's in pain. Now that I'm sleeping, is that two homeless guys? Is the one standing going to rob him? The one standing is taking a poop. Can't you see? My painting not obvious enough? Oh, Mizu, man, I keep forgetting to make it a multi-stream. Like, I think about it, like, honestly, I am thinking about it when I'm not streaming, and I'm like, okay, how can I make my next stream better? And I'm like, the only way to make my stream better is to have Omizu on live. But I just keep forgetting, and therefore my live is not up to its fullest potential because Omizu's not streaming with me. Now, sure, Michael helps a little bit. Michael helps to add some depth into our live streams, depth and wisdom. But not quite as good as Omizu, because Well, Mizu also has a live stream that I think people should check out. And yes. So Michael Wilbur is like a secret a secret personality. Omizu is like, you know, an artist who you can actually see and interact with. This start, Michael should be dual stream with you. That would be fun. He'll never, Michael. Omizu, haven't you had this conversation with Michael? Michael will never be on live stream. He doesn't believe in it, from my understanding. Michael doesn't want to be seen, which I totally would invite Michael if he wanted to be seen. From what I understand, he is not a streaming person. He's not a video person. Add this pink here, and then what is this? Here we go. Oh, so it sounds like Michael is willing to do it. Michael, I could have swore that you said that you never want to be on my live and be seen. I could have swore you said that one day, but you know, people change, I guess, right? Do people change? Do people change? I don't know. Michael, have you ever changed? Is any part of you different than when you were 13 or 20 or 45? I don't want to give away your age because that should be something that people do by themselves. But I do know you have mentioned your age here a few times. Have you changed since many, many years ago? And if so, in what ways? Have you become less mature, more mature? Have you... You'll sleep with the devil. Okay. Change. Absolutely. And the rest of the world will change to time. Yes, that's true. Everything changes, right? Here's a fun fact. Every 7 years, according to science, every 7 years, every single cell in your body every single cell in your body has become a new cell at least once. Isn't that fascinating? Who else is fascinated? Raise your hand if you're absolutely fascinated by that idea, that every 7 years, your body pretty much changes. Your body is a totally physically new body. Every cell in your body has died and recreated itself in some form or fashion, in some way. That's fascinating to me. All right, so let's clean this off. I don't know how I feel about this painting. I feel like it's sort of boring. You know, it just feels like there's not much going on. I like the idea, but I just don't feel like the execution is up to par. So maybe for now, you know, I'll just leave it as these two figures, and then eventually we will spice up some of the figures here. You know what we need to add? We need to add black. We need some black around these figures here. Need some line. Ah! Now you're thinking, Michael. I think we are in tune. We are connected right now in what we need. See, that's awesome. Isn't that great? Like when someone can give you an idea and you're like, that's actually exactly what I need. Yes, that is something that is separating this. This painting from its potential. Yes, it is some lines. We do need some lines. That is for sure. But that's how you know when you're in tune with somebody. You know, like you can kind of figure out what they're going for. Because it's one thing to go with ideas just because, but it's another to like have an idea of what someone else is going for. And be able to give them an idea that's actually like in tune and aligned with that idea.
Alexa, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 15 minutes left on the 15-minute timer.
So let me see how we can add some lines to start to give it some extra detail here. I'm gonna go with. You know what? Are we gonna do the lines right now? Let's do some lines, people. Let's make some lines. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do the lines just yet, but I do need them. I want to add some of these marks into the body here. Give them a little bit more tan color. Try to find some blues to lay down. It should face the viewer, you think so? Oh, it's way too late for that. I don't think I could do that anymore. Really? How can I possibly do that? What sort of magic can I work to make him look the other way? I'm trying to imagine, like, here we go. I see what we can do. This is where actually knowing how to visualize and draw comes into play. So what I need to do is, this basically needs to come down right here. So let's try to push this down. This butt is going to come around. I mean, you know what? Even if it doesn't look perfect, that's okay. but the pants are going to be coming down from the other side. Let's just brush it down with some white here. Let's get some pink. I mean, does that look like it? I don't know. Does that look like his butt is facing? Got a bright white butt. No, that just looks kind of like weird right now. But it's fine. We're gonna make this work somehow. I might just have to like paint over it later. Let me do some smudging, by the way. I got some nice little sponges today. I just want to thank Omizu for being a subscriber to this channel because he helped me purchase artist sponges. So thank you to Omizu for being a subscriber. You've helped me purchase some sponges. And yeah, so we're going to do some sponge painting. So here's the funny thing. They were selling different versions of this. I just want to share this interesting sales tactic. So they were selling different versions of this. And there was a version with 6 pieces. And then there was a version with 8 pieces. Now the 8 pieces was basically just these two, not the bottom ones, and it was cut up. So basically it was like 8 small versions of these that were cut up, and it was like a little bit more expensive. And then there was like a 6-piece one that was like 2 of these, and then like 4 of these. So basically 2 halves of these. I just thought it was so funny how they try to design that, because with the 4-piece one, I get bigger ones, but actually they're not cut. So, you know, I do have to go through the process of cutting them myself. But at least I have sponges. I have sponges. Been wanting some good sponges, and now I got them. So thank you, Omizu, for the financial support of this channel that has helped me purchase random painting supplies. So let's see. Let's go.
How much time is this on the timer?
You know something else I got today that I want to experiment with? I don't really know how I'm going to use this, but I got a spray bottle. And I don't know if I should spray oil or if I should spray paint. Because I don't want to spray oil paint with mineral spirits in it, because that's going to... that's just going to create dangerous air particles in the air. But I do feel comfortable spraying oil, but I don't know if this will actually spray oil. So we'll have to try that out, and I'll have to see how it works later. But yes, we got some interesting supplies today. I don't know how I'm going to use this, but I got a flexible curve. Let's open it up. Let's see what this flexible curve is all about. I probably could have used it for something here, but let's just see. Can I even use this for painting? And how long does it maintain its curve for? I don't know. Like, what would I use this for? I have no clue. Shapes? Should there be a shape somewhere? I don't know. Anyway, those are the supplies. Those are some of our supplies that we've been able to purchase with the wonderful support of Omizu, Bromizu. There you go. But it doesn't really matter. You can have all the supplies in the world. You got to know what to do with it. You gotta figure out, you gotta do something with it, you know? You got to do something with your supplies. You got to do something with it, or you lose it.
Did you show the kids to the Bluers to see if they might want to adopt them?
Well, they live in a different states, so.
They do? I thought there was some in LA. Maybe Bonnie's afraid to meet the kittens because she might want one.
Oh.
Dust, hot dust.
Yes. Your support goes a long way, people.
10 minutes.
With Omizu's support, I was able to make this painting of a homeless man pooping. I mean, I'm sure everybody would like it if I was to say, oh, I just painted the Sistine Chapel with the supplies. But, you know, I used it for more, less noble means. Unless you consider trying to give homeless people. By the way, this painting is not a criticism of homeless people. This painting is an insight into Los Angeles and hopefully raising awareness, because this idea, you know, I make jokes on this channel, but sometimes I do feel the need to explain myself, you know, explain the idea, because it could be totally misinterpreted, right? Someone could look at this painting and be like, is he just making fun of homeless people? Like, why would he do that? Why would he make a painting? And honestly, you know, you need to watch, you need to follow my 5-hour live streams, okay, people? You should, everybody, before they judge me, should watch 5 hours a day of my live streams. But the real reason why, can I turn TV down low? The real reason why is it's meant to I'm here to share a story. I mean, it's quite an interesting sight to see homeless people in one of the wealthiest, literally the highest GDP city in America. Literally, it could be its own country. It has more GDP than 99.9% of the countries in the world. Alexa, how many countries are there on the planet Earth?
There are 195 countries in the world today.
Alexa, what is 4 divided by 194?
4 divided by 194 is approximately 0.0206.
0.02. So 2%. So 97%. Los Angeles has more money than 97% of countries on the entire planet, just the state alone. Yet it has people pooping on the side of a road. I could decorate a pristine tree. Mario, what's up, dude? And there we go. So so that is that. But yes, so the whole idea is not to, I'm not shaming homeless people. Like, honestly, yes. Oh my God, here, let's show some kittens, by the way. Let's share some kittens. So I have 1 day left for these kittens, not even a whole day. We're gonna see some kittens right now. I don't even have a whole day left for these kittens. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, here, I'm about to surprise all of you. Look at this one. Hello, Smudge. Hello, Smudge. Hello, little baby. Yes? Yes, little baby? What's your name, Smudge? Isn't she cute? So we got 1 day left because we're at vacation fosters.
The gray ones.
She's so cute. Just a little cute. All of you have been crossed by a black cat, which means you're going to have good luck for the rest of your lives. You're going to have the best of luck for the rest of the year. Black cats are wonderful luck because I said so. On this stream, in this universe, black cats are good luck. All right? Yes. All right. So that's that one. Let's see the other two. They're actually pretty cute too. That one was the cutest. She's like the sweetest. But look at
one is dryer lit.
Look at these.
One is dust.
Say what's up. This one's got like big eyes. She's like a little. Look at this. Look at the big eyes on this one. What's up? Hello. Hello. They're brothers. They're already kind of big. They grew since we first got them, like last week. But they got up here all by themselves. They climbed up this tree all by themselves.
They got big.
It is. Right? It's so cute. Yes, you're adorable. You are adorable. Look at these little kitties. We have 7 cats right now. No, we have 6.
We still have 7.
We're missing one in the hospital.
Fern has been overnight.
She's dealing. One of our cats is dealing with an illness, so she's in the vet right now. Isn't it cute?
You're scared.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute. You just want to pet them for hours. Look at him. He gave me his paw. Look at that. It's adorable. Yeah? Yes? What, you want to chew on my hand, little one? Yes, come here. Yeah, look at those claws. Ooh, yeah. I love seeing kitty claws. Look at how these claws, they are so deadly. Kitty claws are so deadly, it's so cute because they can scratch you up so bad. Like cats are they're like the most interesting predators. It is so funny to think about how cute they are, but they are savage. They would tear apart a squirrel and eat them for breakfast. Every single organ. Look at that. You could tear them apart. It would leap into the sky and catch a bird if it had to, and just like rip it apart. Like, look at those claws. Or lizard or any animal. But they're so cute. Like, they are so... Well, yeah, a squirrel would probably, put up a good fight. But how can a cute animal be so savage? It's so interesting.
Okay, dinner's ready.
All right, well, you know what? Huh?
We should eat now.
It is time to eat.
It's time to eat, yes.
So, I think I've done as much as I
Yes.
feel like is good for this live stream for now because
Oh, can you move the kitty litter off the table?
I've got some work to do. Still feels kind of plain. I don't know if I'm gonna change that, but we've made some progress, and we've seen some kittens. So those of you that are here, thank you, and we're gonna wrap this up. So Kat has made a fascinating dinner. She has made a wonderful meatloaf for us.
Okay, I need stuff
And
off
she
the
needs
table.
stuff done. So we're gonna do it. All right, take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. See you another